All right. We still don't have a name for this podcast. TJ calls it the fake podcast. I call it the no name podcast. But this is episode 7, and I am here with definitely my most attractive guest, probably one of the most successful guests, and my other business partner, and life partner, Jennifer Jewell Smith. What's up, Mama?
Good morning.
Good morning. Out of the top 5 things that she despises most, where does this one rank?
It's solid top 3.
Top
maybe,
3.
Maybe 1 or 2.
Crowds with other people and bugs.
Yeah. Large crowds, outdoor activities, podcasts.
So we've been married going on 13 years.
Yes.
12 years. We've known each other about 15-ish. Worked together and is that educators originally is where our families knew each other, but we reconnected there, right?
Correct.
All right. So since I know you very well, tell everybody who you are, what you're about, anything you want to share with the public or anybody that watches this.
Well, Jennifer Jewell was my maiden name. Now Jennifer Jewell Smith. Started in education, quickly realized that I felt like my talents were going to take me elsewhere. Got my real estate license early, retired myself from teaching when I had our second child, Macy. Started in real estate with an independent. Was told to start my own independent, so started an independent brokerage around 2014. Rolled into Keller in 2020 with a team of 12. Now we're up to 18, and it's going quite well. Team is fantastic. I have a property management company that we own currently. I have a mortgage license, and we just have a lot of good things going. Transaction management company, just kind of extensions that are all kind of coming together. Surrounded by probably some of the best people that I love to work with every day. So everything right now is fantastic.
Fantastic. All right. So I'm going to go back to 2014. You brushed over that like it was nothing. So 2014, you're at a small independent brokerage, and your broker at that point comes up to you and says what?
I am not going to be doing real estate anymore. I realize you're like 4,000 months pregnant, but I'm going to start transitioning out. So I signed up for broker school. I had 2 little bitties, was pregnant with our third, and decided that I'm going to start a brokerage because I didn't want to work for anyone else at the time. So I started a brokerage in 2014, given a couple months notice, and it was all very kind. It just motivated me to move very fast.
Still good friends. There was nothing nefarious.
No, he was going a different direction, and he said, get your broker's license or join somebody else, and he waited for me to get my broker's license. So,
which you did in about 3 days.
Which I did very, very quickly, because at that point in time, I wanted to be my own thing. I didn't want to be a part of something else, so I wanted to learn, and ultimately very excited that I was kind of forced, but then also decided to take the independent route because it made me learn everything, all parts of the business very fast, because I was responsible for the entire brokerage.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because not necessarily the easy decision. The easy decision would be to take your license, just slide it over somewhere else and keep selling real estate. And at that time you said, basically, you know what, holding my beer, I'm going to go do this out on my own. What went into that decision?
Well, the biggest thing is I like to be my own boss, and I wanted to be my own boss. I knew I had enough years of experience to where I'd be fine. I can figure out anything. At the end of the day, there's always a solution to everything, and I'd figure it out as I was going. I'm very systematic, and through my thought process is very systematic. I make sure to protect kind of as I'm going to make sure all parties are protected. I didn't realize that some things I didn't know, but I learned them very fast, and no one got hurt. So that was a win. But I was very proactive on making sure I knew what I was doing. I was connected with the right people, and I just made sure that it was the best. Ultimately, it was the best decision for the family. But I also felt that, like deep down, that was what I needed to do.
So I sit around thinking a lot. I'm like, what is it that makes you who you are? Because if you don't know Jennifer Jewell Smith, you need to know her. She is a superstar. Unbelievably talented, just has natural leadership DNA, natural sales DNA. We joke and say she's kind of like Rain Man when it comes to numbers, because you can say a number to her one time and she'll never forget it. But what would you say is your secret sauce?
Probably the biggest thing is I do feel like I'm a rain man of numbers. I can usually take numbers and almost diagnose immediately, yay, nay, or what that is. That's more from an investment, running a business and an investor kind of perspective. But I would say the biggest positive is I feel like I'm a connector of people. I love connecting people however they need to be connected. If it's whether they need a, financial plan or recommendation, they need, help with a car lease, they need, a plumber, whatever it is, or if they need business to business, helping agents kind of get to where they want to be, helping people get to where they want to be. Just at the end of the day, I would say my secret sauce is connecting with people.
Yeah. Well, we know that relationships are like the currency of this business, or any sales business for that matter. Last week I had TJ Graves from Eastern High School, who's a friend of ours, but he's like the CEO of a baseball team, and that's what he does. He understands what his team needs when they need it, and he does a great job communicating that out. I wrote down another your secret sauce is being a problem solver. And I think you kind of alluded to that. Like, if I need a plumber, that's the problem, right? And you find the solution. And you do that with elegance and grace and tenacity that I've never seen. It doesn't matter. I don't think you've ever been rattled during a real estate transaction.
I wouldn't say I haven't been rattled. But there's always, when you stay calm and you come up with something that's reasonable and you communicate to the other parties, whoever that is, either your clients, the other agent, the broker, insurance, title. If you come in with how are we going to work together to solve this problem, it generally goes a lot longer way than trying to come at, a situation with venom or not enough confidence to even ask the question. But generally, 9.999 times out of 10, there's usually a solution, and there's usually a solution you can get there amicably. Like it doesn't have to be difficult. And right. I try to not make situations difficult. Some situations are more difficult than others, and some people are not as proactively engaged.
Do you ever feel like during transactions that people are unintentionally adversarial? Like, I think maybe even our words that we use, like this, you're on this side of the contract. Like, it's almost like you're supposed to be a battle, but it's really a collaborative effort that gets you to the closing table.
And I've had my best fortune with people that it's a collaborative. We both represent our own parties. Like that's not what I'm saying whatsoever.
Yeah.
However, if your side or if your buyer or seller wants something and you come at the other side in a way that they don't want to work with you, then no one's going to be happy. You're not going to get your client what they need because you didn't handle it the right way to where the other side's even willing to work with you. There's just a way to handle things and a way to talk to people. And there's always a professional way. I try to come across in a way that explains and sets expectations, and it's just there's always a solution. It's just how can we find it?
Yep. Awesome. All right. So I've gotten a habit of asking a 3-part question: peace, purpose, and profit. All right. So the idea behind this, I read this somewhere, is I'm not going to spend any energy unless it creates profit, creates purpose, or creates peace. So you pick which one you want to talk about first.
Well, I'll start with the peace.
Okay. Let me frame it.
Okay.
Right? So you're in the most stressful situation ever. You just want to unplug and get away and get back to a very peaceful state. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Who are you going to hang with? Whatever combination of those things.
Well, now we are very fortunate that we have, I like to say human capital, but I mean that in a very loving way. Like, I don't think we could be surrounded with any better set of people. We're still growing, but right now the circle of people we have around, like our real estate team and all the different businesses that we own, are just fabulous people that I do feel like I am one call away from someone stepping in and saying, you need to go take a break. I got this under control. And I actually trust that they can handle it. And that's probably the biggest thing, is trusting that someone else can handle it if I need a peace of mind moment.
So your peace is not necessarily a thing or a place. It's just being able to unplug from the business.
Correct. Yes.
Right. I love that. It's you've worked really hard to get where you're at, and it's been 15, 16 years in the making.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So you brought up something else, and I'm going to stay in peace for a minute just because you brought it up. You said, and this is what I love about our team, the team that you created, is you always have said you want thoroughbreds. I want a team full of thoroughbreds.
Yes. We
start our meetings with call to the post, and I think that it's different. How do you attract and maintain thoroughbreds in a sales organization that is historically known for turnover and disillusionment?
Well, at the end of the day, I think it's the culture of the team. I think we all generally enjoy being around each other's company. Like I like to talk to them, even difficult conversations I can have. I'm comfortable. I think they're comfortable with me. We talk through scenarios. I mean, at the end of the day, we have high performing people that I try to support, love on, teach. I mean, it is all of the above. It's just the people that we've built around us and the people that want to be a part of our organization. And probably the biggest thing that I say to most people that kind of interview for our team or want to join our team is, I want you to want to be here. I don't want you to need to be here, because if you need to be here, it's not going to be long lasting, because that need might go away. If you want to be here, you're going to stay, because we're going to create a world that you want to be in. And I hope to provide as many opportunities as we can to where you want to stay.
I like that. So why does it need to be here a negative thing?
It's a negative thing. Like, if you need to be here, you're probably reliant on something that you can't do at the moment on your own. And then once you get that need, or somehow it comes into place, or it comes in a short period of time, you might leave the team. And then what if that need, is another problem again? Are you going to try to come back?
Yeah.
I want to fulfill needs, but I also want you to want to be here. So it's kind of like a twofold. There is some need, and maybe it's some of the agents on our team or could run their own team. And there's no question about it. We have got phenomenal leaders, phenomenal people on our team, but I want to satisfy the need, but I want the want to be bigger than the need.
Oh, there you go. I just love, so a phrase that I've heard is what brought you to the team might be the same thing that lures you off the team. And so you say need, like I need leads, or I need this, I need that, versus truly partnering with us and leveraging what the team has to grow your business. I think you clarified that about as clear as it could be. I love it. All right. Purpose or profit?
I'm a money gal, so I guess profit.
All right. What is the one activity? What is the one thing that you do that creates profit or creates the metric of success in your business?
It goes back to probably what I deem to be one of my strongest things, is connecting with people.
Right.
You have to connect with people. You have to genuinely connect with people. You have to genuinely care about helping them. You want what's best for them. You're looking out for them. You're help guiding them through decisions. I've turned down a lot of deals, not because I didn't want to do the deal, because I've had a conversation that wasn't in their best interest. I very easily could have said, push the deal through, or say, let's do this. But sometimes it's not the right time. Sometimes it's just not the right house. Sometimes it's not the right situation. Whatever it is, I will always be honest. And a lot of times, I feel like people appreciate that enough to where they're going to come back. If I tell you right now, I really think this, and if they want to proceed, then we're going to proceed.
Right.
But I at least provide an honest assessment, opinion, whatever they're asking. Yeah.
So authenticity, being genuine, caring about people. I feel like there was something there that I liked that I wanted to, this season of your life, right? You're saying that the most profitable thing you can do is care about people and being in a relationship with people is kind of what I heard.
Yes.
Has that always been the case in your business trajectory?
No, I would say the first probably 10 to 12 years, I had to just grind. Like, I had to build the business. I'm still grinding now. I just got the Energizer Bunny Award for our team vote. And I am nonstop. I feel like I'm always looking for bigger opportunities for a group of 18 versus one. I'm still grinding, but I'm grinding in a different way. Now I try to make decisions based off the greater good of 18 people versus the greater good of Jimmy and Jennifer. So it's the same concepts, but on a different scale.
Yeah.
And a different level of responsibility.
Yeah, to make it simple, your activities have changed. Like,
yes.
whether you're, instead of interfacing with clients, you're interfacing with agents and helping them grow their business. And I love the fact that you're in partnership and you've moved from a more like to a business owner mindset. So I love that. So all right, purpose. What were you put on this world to do?
Apparently to be in sales. I wanted to at first be a lawyer. I wanted to be a criminologist. I wanted to be a forensics detective. Started that in college. Think that honestly still could be like my backup plan. If in older age, I want to be a forensics detective still. I then wanted to go to law school, did, courtroom observation, sat in on murder trials with, a student pass. Still, have interest in being a lawyer. Decided that after the 2 kind of passive being a lawyer, I just wasn't interested in. I probably should have explored that a little bit more. I did teaching just because my parents were teachers. I was like, well, I can be a teacher. And then actually my Aunt Tina, I remember at a Christmas, was like, do you want to be a teacher? Is that what you're going to be? And she probably doesn't know that I actually remember that conversation. So
I don't remember that, but
you weren't. Awesome. You were not involved then. But I remember going, man, I don't think my DNA is a teacher. I am not. I mean, I loved being a teacher. It was a great time, but I don't think deep down that's probably my life's path, kind of like what the plan is for me. So, I kind of think I'm built for real estate. I like numbers. I like interacting with people. I like kind of the challenge. I like sitting. There's no salary. I either make zero money or I can make as much money as I work for.
Well, you know, like our trajectory in our relationship, I think and this is no fault of anyone, but I think we grew up in families where security was so important to making sure you had X number of dollars coming in. And we weren't exposed to a world where your effort and your activities has an unlimited potential, right? And again, I don't think it's negative. I remember especially when I quit, I think your dad was like, why are you all doing that?
Yes. So I stepped away from a teacher's salary, obviously. And that was comfortable. That was we were like, yep, we're done. Had the second baby, getting broker's license. This is happening. And then come 2017, the business was growing. We were having just a lot of trouble with time. It wasn't so much, a major time issue. Kids weren't home. We made a family decision to retire Jimmy as an assistant principal, which was a really nice salary with benefits and all the things. And to us, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth kind of what was happening to the family, the household. So to us, it was we're going to take the risk. We're going to bet on ourselves. And now I couldn't imagine if we didn't do that. There's no way we'd be where we are here if we didn't make that decision.
Yeah. I think we'd be happy together, but we wouldn't be. I don't think we would have the impact on the people around us that we can have now.
I don't think we would have had the time to even get here. Mm-hmm. There'd been no way, just because 60 hours a week would have been taken by a job.
Right. Exactly. And not a business.
Right.
You said something else that I know to be true and that you exemplified. I don't know that you maybe until recently could have communicated it, but the number one indicator for success is showing up. Mm-hmm. Jennifer, you wake up every morning and the first thing you do is think about your business, and the last thing you do is think about your business when you go to bed. And you do it in a very healthy way. I know you can burn yourself out a little bit, but what have you learned what was that learned? Is it just how you're wired? I know you got the Energizer Bunny Award. Why is that? And you did it before we burned the boats, so it's somewhere deeper than just we had to.
I honestly get asked that actually quite a bit. I'm just wired. I'm wired to run hard, run fast, and just keep going. I wouldn't say that there's ever it's not good enough. It's just I know and I feel it in my core. I've got a bigger trajectory and I can pull a lot of people with me if I just keep pushing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, I wake up going, well, how am I going to grow the team today? How am I going to give them more opportunity? How can we create positions? How can we expand? My mind's always for growth and opportunity, and I want to pull our team members and the people I'm associated with up. So I guess
it's a little emotional.
I did.
There's a little tear in her eye.
I'm like, I am really trying to pull up as many people as I possibly can.
Are you vying for the Unconditional Love Award?
Yes, I'm trying to get unconditional love, but hey, sometimes I'm not cold. I'm told I'm cold a lot, but I'm actually not cold. I'm very, very nice.
You're unbelievably nice, but also unbelievably resolute. You know what you want.
Yes.
You're very convicted of what you want. I probably challenge you more than I should on things, and I think it's more I think what I would say, and I'm going to say this with love, is she is very entrepreneurial, who is growing into a phase of her life where she's being very purposeful.
Yes.
And I think that's, I probably push you too fast, too hard on that. But I think that's our yin and yang. Sometimes I'm really yin and sometimes I'm just a little bit of yin.
Yep.
So what is the hardest thing about living with me?
Multiple things. I would say the continual push is good, but it's also bad sometimes because I'm like, good God, what else do you want me to possibly do? Right now, I am trying to run a lot of businesses at a high level the best I can with making sure that I'm communicating and doing all things well. The biggest, probably the hardest thing, honestly, is I am an analytical person and I don't like to make moves until I'm confident with the outcome. That's probably slightly a shortcoming, but then also slightly an advantage, as I am not really quick to make decisions that I don't have a high level of confidence on what the outcome is going to be. I am borderline probably OCD, like diagnosed. I'm not diagnosed, but I probably could be. I like to know how things are going to play out, and I look for all solutions before I make a choice. So I think that's probably the good and bad, and probably where we differ probably the greatest is
so articulate the contrast in that.
Meaning, like, you want to make quick decisions, and I like to overthink.
Yeah, I would rather fail forward.
Yes, he would like to fail forward, spend money to fail forward, and I like to.
She had to spend money in there.
Yes, spend money to fail forward because I am the CFO of all things, and I do not like to fail forward monetarily, and I don't like to ask people to do things that I don't feel like I know what the outcome is going to be. I don't like to overtax people. I don't want to ask things that I know either won't have a high likelihood of having a deliverable. So I'm just a little more systematically driven in the brain to where I want to know what I think is going to likely happen.
Right. So there's no room for error there.
That goes back to the OCD. I don't like error. I don't like things that aren't. If we could do something better, I want to figure out how, and then how fast can we get there. But I don't make a really quick decision to get there.
Yeah. It's interesting how we've not necessarily grown into that, but I think we have a better understanding. I think that's probably why we do so well together. Is we have a very good understanding of how each of us are growing, and I'm a little bit more of a pusher than I should be probably sometimes. She yelled at me the other day.
Yep,
right.
And I'm a little bit of a pushbacker. So
yeah. If I say it, it's going to get pushed back first.
Right.
I used to tell her that she how would I word that? You gave me a yes by telling me I was wrong or something like that. Like,
right. I answered the question, but I was telling you I answered yes, but I told you were wrong throughout throughout the way.
All right, let's go personal and team accomplishments.
Well, personal, I'm just trying to be a healthier me, not because I have any other goal other than I want to feel better. So I'm trying no diet drinks, no sweets like cookies, cakes, and things that I love. And then I'm also trying, what was that third one? Diet drinks.
Fried food.
That's right. Fried food.
Yep.
I just want to be a healthier me. I just turned 40. So I went to the doctor. I won't, an unnamed doctor.
An unnamed doctor on the unnamed podcast.
I regrettably asked what she thought of my weight, and she gave me her honest opinion. So I was like, well, I'm going to pull my life together. So
I still think that conversation went like this. I'm overweight, Arna. How much overweight am I?
Well, I asked her honest opinion, and she gave it. So now it gave me a goal. So on the personal side, I want to feel better. I want to feel good in my skin. I want to feel, when I wake up, I want to feel great. I don't want to have headaches. So on the personal side, I'm on a personal health tour.
You were going to say journey, but you said I can't stay.
No, it's a tour. I'm on a tour.
You're just on a tour.
Yes.
Tour stop though. Are you gonna stop being on a healthy tour?
No, I want to be healthy. I want to feel good. I want to be around for the kids. I want to start controlling things that I can with diet. I feel like my teenage eating probably needs to go away, and I need to be an adult.
All right, team.
The team goal is just kind of filling in the gaps with the right people. It's taken me 15 years to feel like we have the right people on the bus, which we always say we just kept adding people to the bus. I honestly couldn't be happier with who all we have right now. We're growing. I think we have the infrastructure now to grow at a high level. Love the people involved, and just couldn't be happier now.
What does that growth look like?
The growth looks like multiple markets. We're already in 3 markets. I'd like to go to Ohio. We're in Kentucky, Indiana, Florida. We're about to have our second agent in Florida who will be phenomenal because she's phenomenal here. I'm hoping to go to Ohio so we can hit, like I said, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, and then definitely Florida. We're kind of focusing on Panhandle's coming very soon, and then we already have the Tampa, Clearwater area, and then I'm hoping to get to the Keys because Jimmy wants to be a boat captain, and I'm going to try to build out a team there so that happens. All
right. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm glad I'm on your goal list. We got probably 5 minutes left. Anything on your mind you want to throw out there?
No,
Other than me being a boat captain, why the Keys?
I love the Keys. It's kind of island time, island life. I am a less is more when it comes to crowds person.
So it's funny you say that because you're like your secret sauce, your unique ability is connecting people or being a people connector and problem solver, and yet you're truly an introvert.
I'm an introvert as far as like socialness. Like I like small groups of people. I wouldn't say an introvert. I'm a small group extrovert. I like to be, I do not like large groups where you feel like you have to bounce around the entire room all night. I don't think a whole lot of genuine anything happens. And then if you do have something genuine, you're kind of like pushed off to the side with a small group of people where you're not interacting with the majority of the people. I think that's just uncomfortable naturally to me, maybe not to everybody. But I love small group interactions, 10 or less, perfect, not including kids, because a lot of times a lot of our friends have 3 and 4 kids. So if we count them, we'd have one family over. But I like small group interactions. I love doing things like with our team, for example, we've got a bigger team, but I feel like since everybody knows each other so well, it's still comfortable. It was a great night the other night when we had a kind of a team event. But yeah, it's, did I answer your question?
I think so.
Okay.
You're a small group introvert or small group extrovert.
Yes.
See, I'm kind of and believe it or not, I'm kind of an introvert, I think. I like putting big groups together and watching them have fun. I don't need to be like involved in it. I think you think that I like want to have, but I just want to create a great time for anybody and everybody I can. So,
well, I think most of our people around us would disagree.
Well, I think they would disagree on you too. So, all right, 5 years from now, we're looking back at this moment, and this is what success looks like.
5 years back.
5 years from now. 5 years from now, we're looking back at this moment, and you've conveyed what success looks like.
From personal, I feel better than ever. I have kind of cut out all the things that my body doesn't need. And I don't know, just feel good in my clothes, feel good in my skin. And I'm tan because I have a place somewhere warm. I am not a cold gal. So somewhere warm, we own a place. So I've got good color. And my dermatologist still likes me. From the business side, we have a couple parallels of real estate from a business perspective that we manage, we're involved in, and we have the right key people that are helping us run that. And we're kind of growing out their world too with ours, both worlds kind of growing together. I have, I don't really know other than those two would be the biggest.
5 years from now, we'll have an 18-year-old.
We'll have a almost 18, an almost 15, and a 16-year-old. So we'll have 2 drivers and a not quite there yet.
So all our kids will be in high school by then.
One will probably be in college. One will be going into college, and then we'll have 2 high schoolers. Gotcha.
Well, as always, I get to spend a lot of time with you. A lot of time we're passing in the night, unfortunately. But thanks for being on here. And I know you shared a lot of great things about what you've got going on in your world, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.
Talk to y'all later.